What's up, guys? I'm Robert from Untitled Visuals, and today we finally have our FX9. UPS was sleeping on us. We were supposed to do this last night, and we were all sitting here waiting for hours, and UPS just never showed up. So
it was a fun time, though.
Nah, it was cool. It was cool. It was cool talking with everybody, but alas, albeit a little bit late, we're here. We have the FX9. I'm super excited. So let's get into it.
Yep.
Okay.
Right in.
Actually, yeah. Do you want to do the honors?
Me? You're the one who bought it. It's yours.
Go for it. That's you. That's you.
I get greens.
All right. So yeah, I see a bunch of y'all in the chat. We got people from Slovenia, Bulgaria, Zambia. That's super cool. What's up, y'all? Yeah.
Please read the instruction manual.
All right, we're gonna read some instructions, maybe not, probably not. So a lot of people, this camera's been very, very interesting, and the stream will actually be pretty cool because we'll actually be able to pipe in the FX9 the signal into the stream, so y'all can actually get a first-hand look on what's going on and actually see the autofocus, that cinetone, all that good stuff.
So you got a couple of things in here with the manual. I'm assuming it's like the Wi-Fi dongle and some attachments. We'll see.
Yeah, Wi-Fi. I know you can do like a wireless video type setup or whatever.
Got the
battery charger
for the BPU. AC adapter. This seems like the basic stuff that comes with an FS7.
Yeah,
too.
basic stuff. We all seen it. Nobody's really excited. This is new though. We have a new Viewfinder / loop. It's now 720p. I was never a really big fan of the FS7 one, but apparently this one has a nicer resolution, and
it brings over similar mounting rods from the FS7 Mark II.
Yeah, it's got that square rod. Yeah, it's just nice. I'm going to be replacing it anyway because I have some wooden camera stuff. But if I can figure this out.
But if you were to go with the stock Viewfinder, it seems to be much better designed now. They took notes from FS7 users.
Can you still flip it up? Is there a little latch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a big fat latch here. Oh, okay, just push down.
If you've never used an FS7 with the stock iCup, the stock loop, it's the most annoying thing ever. It's the most...
Yeah, I was never a huge fan of these. I always replaced them with like a graticle or something like that. But it's there. And what's also interesting is that usually with rental packages, I'll send them out stock anyway. I usually try to refrain from sending out like nice monitor, like my nice monitors and EVFs, unless it's specifically asked for. Normally rental packages just want straight up stock packages, so that's cool. All right, we got some Vista Prime's demo. You got it coming on up. I know you talked about getting a Mira. Why the FX9 instead of going the original route? A Mira's still kind of on the table, just not so much now. And especially now with the advent of this year, apparently there's going to be a new Alexa coming out, so depending on what kind of form factor that is, and the Amira. So I've done some thinking over the past couple months, and the Amira is really cool if you want to own that great Alexa sensor. But what's being asked for, like if you're an owner-op, like an Amira would totally be cool. If you just want to own like a good Alexa, yeah, that's totally cool. But what's being asked for and what's being used and rented the most is the Mini. So like it would make more sense to get a Mini at this point. And then now there's going to be a new Alexa coming out this year, next year, and then the new LF is out. So times is changing. All right, now we're getting
new Alexa or new sensor.
New sensor, right?
Yeah, it's a new sensor.
4K,
so
Super 35,
we don't know if it's
native.
an Alexa.
Yeah, so
body.
Who knows? I mean, if it is, that's cool too.
That's cool.
All right, now what we do? We're getting the meat of it.
All right, let's take a look. See.
We got that Venice gray. Oh dang, son!
You grab it.
How do you feel about this gray?
I like the gray.
Ooh, if
it's refreshing. Because we're so used to all black everything, which all black everything is great too, but
That,
I feel like
that gray is tight.
It's like a modern retro look.
That gray is tight. And it's also a good differentiator from the FS7s and stuff like that.
Look at the rosette. I don't know if
Okay.
you can see it, but there's like a little anti-twist feature in the middle of the rosette.
That's cool.
That kind of has it sitting right up. I mean, rosette by nature is already anti-twist, so I don't know.
Here you go. All right, let's get to the rest of what's in here. It doesn't look like, is there anything else in here? No, doesn't look like it. So we could just ditch this. Get to some of these comments.
All right. Wow, why is the box so heavy if there's nothing else?
Jeez, all that paper. So I'm getting some questions on why I went with this and why I spent money on this camera specifically, as opposed to getting some more higher end. The reason is because the FS7 was and is one of the most popular production cameras in the world, and that'll be a thing for still a while. Right now, there's currently no market for this. Like, nobody's going to be bending over their heels, like begging for an FX9 on their whatever production. But as an owner-operator for most of the gigs that I do, which is mainly a lot of commercial dock, a lot of corporate stuff too here in Vegas, FS7s get asked for plenty. So my thought process is that when I get sent out, when I am hired out for a job, I'm always asked for FS7s or similar. So that way I'll be able to bring this camera on with me whenever I'm hired on, and I can just bring the camera package on with me and bump the rental rate a little bit. And if this rate is too much for whatever, too much for the client's budget, then hey, we have FS7s. If that's too much, hey, we have other cameras we can consider too. So that's the nice thing about owning all these cameras, is that I'll always have something good to shoot with. And also, lately, over the past couple months, I've been getting a ton of FS7 asks and rentals. And the camera is like now 5, 6-ish years old, and it still gets asked for plenty. So that way, whenever I'm out shooting on my own jobs, I can still have this and have my other FS7s working at the same time and earning extra rental income that way. So that's kind of my thought process. Why I didn't want something more higher end. I think the next camera I would get after this would be some sort of Alexa, maybe a Mini, maybe an LF, maybe anything like that. But I don't have an immediate need. I don't have that kind of demand for that kind of tier yet. And if I do, I'll just rent it. But I think the FX9 is great because it has it's like just on that teetering point of an owner operator, like just having a solid package. Like owning Reds is cool. Owning Alexas are super cool. If you have that kind of demand and you're in that kind of market, that's great. For me, the FS7s, FX9s, all the Sonys, the workhorses, they get asked for a ton.
What kind of market are you in? Would you consider yourself in Vegas?
The bulk of it is corporate, which isn't like terribly fun, but I do a lot of dock stuff too, and FS7 has been asked for so much in dock stuff. So yeah, and it's always, clients always come to me and they want FS7 or similar, so they're not, they don't need it. Like if they had a C300, that'd be cool. If I had an FS7, that'd be cool. If I had an FX9, that'd be great. So, but sometimes, like I did an Amazon convention last December, it was strictly all C300s. That's cool. But most of the time, it's kind of left up to an option to the DP or whatever the camera system they want to bring out, whatever they want to rent out. So, and
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Because now you get to bring this out, and you're basically letting people know that this is available now.
Yeah. It's one of there's a couple. I think there's a couple floating around in Vegas now. I know Killer Dutch has one. Shout out to Killer Dutch. But yeah, I'll have one. And a lot of so what excites me specifically about the FX9 is a lot of the ergonomic improvements, and then dual base ISO. We'll go over all of this stuff. But this is such like all the improvements that come with this camera, I'm just personally really excited for, and really fits my workflow. So yeah, and you have an FS. We're actually using one of your FS7s on the stream.
It's this one right here.
Yeah, right now we have 3 FS7s running this stream, which is wild. And we'll actually be able to pipe this in just a sec after we build it out. We actually have a bunch of wooden camera and Zacuto stuff that we're going to put on here really quick before we boot it up. But I'm sure y'all know what this camera looks like. You guys have seen plenty of videos like I have. So I won't bore you with the Oh, loud boring. Oh, so it feels really solid. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that feel different to you than the FS7?
It feels a little denser, which is interesting. I see one of the most annoying things about the FS7, which I know it sounds like a nitpick, really, but like the back of the FS7 kind of slants. This one is just straight up and down, which I don't know, feels nice.
It seems like a really refined body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, and a lot of the
And they took
button
all the
improvements.
notes from users of the FS7 to kind of like just improve the ergonomics, which is really cool. It's nice to see.
And this camera is very, very exciting to me because I think the reason everyone's talking about the A7S III, everyone's been talking about the A7S III.
Oh wow, this is key.
Yeah, oh, is it?
It's not a smooth dial.
Oh, that is cool.
It has like
The multifunction dial.
That's nice.
Get a good overhead of that. What's up? You trying to get this overhead? There you go. What's up? So that I didn't know. I assumed this was going to be almost like the smooth. This
Yeah.
one's smooth. This one is more of a click,
Yeah.
and you can push it into.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so about the A7S III, I think the reason that they put off that camera for so long is because they were basically developing all that technology for the FX9. So with the dual base ISO, with the back illuminated sensor technology and the low light performance and the autofocus, I think they were developing all that to put it in here, then get this out first, so that way it'll eventually trickle down into the A7S III. Which that's all speculation from me. That's what I think is happening, and if that's the case, that'll be super cool because the footage that I've seen come out from here looks super incredible.
Dude, now I'm more hyped about the A7.
Yeah,
S3.
that thing is tiny. I mean, I still use my A7R plenty. I still use this guy plenty for time lapse or whatever. But what's exciting about the A7S III is that if they port over the autofocus stuff, it's gonna be super killer. All right, you want to get this guy built out?
Yeah. Are you gonna keep the top handle or?
I think I'm gonna put my own on. Yeah.
Which is really cool with Sony's decision to put XLRs on the body and not the handle like the C300 had. Because then you can just take the handle.
Yeah,
off
if you,
and
especially
use
like because a lot of times like if you want to throw it on the gimbal, and also now we don't need the back. I didn't even buy the back. So now if you wanted to throw this on a gimbal, take the top handle off, and this is your body.
Where you're at.
That's great. You have a time code just built in right here, and yeah, that's perfect. I think there's some in here. So okay, I'll just maybe run you through what I got from Wooden Camera. I got basically a top plate and the viewfinder relocator, or the viewfinder extension, and then coming from Zacuto, we have the VCT Pro, the trusted VCT Pro. So actually, let me get onto this. So yeah, we got a full frame 6K sensor, which is really cool. And it's interesting because I've seen a lot of people complain that the FX9. So it's a 6K sensor, but it will never actually record 6K.
No, I have heard rumors about Sony possibly updating or releasing an update to the firmware down the line a year from now to enable 6K raw recording externally. So
That would be cool.
whichever raw recorder you prefer using, I'm assuming Atomos will be the first one to release something.
Probably. Yeah, and I didn't have too much experience with the raw recording on the FS7, but
I had a little bit, but with the FS7 recording raw externally, I've always had issues with like the post workflow because there was no standard way to debayer that, you know? So it always comes in super dark in Resolve for me for some reason. And then I think, what was it? The Odyssey 7Q and 7Q Plus, Convergent Design released like their own set of LUTs to kind of like bring your exposure into range of whatever it is to emulate, S-Log3 grading, but it was never entirely accurate.
yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how they improve this because now ProRes RAW is available. So
It is.
That's a thing. Like,
It's still
my
in Final
God.
Cut though, right? In Final Cut only?
I believe Premiere just released an update in their latest 2019 thing to enable ProRes RAW. And then if you have the new Mac Pro, oh my goodness, the Afterburner card for ProRes RAW, like I'm sure they're working on something right now. They just haven't announced it yet.
Yeah, I'm actually just gonna play this guy in.
Yeah.
All right, so actually, I think I might skip on the top plate just because I want to get to. I just want to pipe this guy on and show you guys what's up. Actually, I just want to see what's up. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see what's up. Damn, is it tight little? There we go. So yeah, it's interesting. So the FS7 had obviously a 4K resolution, but the 4K Bayer sensor actually gets you about 3K resolution actually, whereas the 6K sensor will get you like a 4.2K. So I think that was kind of the big driving force behind using going for 6K and also getting to the full frame sensor, which I think is really cool. So. All right, so we have this. What lens should we throw on this guy?
Let's do a Vista Prime.
You want to go straight to a Vista Prime?
We can try here. Let's try this one.
Oh, get that. Maybe a 16-35. Let's do a 16. Let's get that wide.
There you go.
Dynamic range, and is it 12-bit? It's 10-bit, and the dynamic range, Sony says it's about 15 stops. So the FS7 is 14 stops, so we get added stop in the shadows.
This is really cool. I really like the locking mechanism
Look at that
they brought over.
frame.
It seems like they brought it over from the F55 for the E-mount.
Was this? Yeah, I'm wondering. Was it the same one as the FS7 II? Because they brought it over.
Oh
to the
yeah,
same
that's
one,
right.
yeah.
They did. I forgot about that.
Look at this guy.
I personally have never shot with the FS7 II because I already have the one.
I've used it a couple times. All right.
This is a little bit of a learning curve. So that.
What's also nice is that you have the Super 35 mode too. So if you wanted to match to an FS7, you can jump into Super 35 mode, and that'll get you a 4K resolution, which is nice too. So here, let me see. Sorry, this is our first day.
This is our first day. This is my first day, guys. I've never used the locking E-mount before.
I don't know if I actually go ahead and put it on. Let's go ahead and rocket ship it. There you go.
So are you supposed to line up the white dot first?
Maybe. There you go. Wow, it's like a very PLE.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's like a PL within a PL mount. Huh, so that locks it down?
All right, y'all. All right, so let's get this.
Dang, that's the most solid E-mount I've ever felt.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
That's cool.
That's nice. All right, so we're just gonna not care about looks right now. So we got a tear deck. We're gonna pipe this into the stream. Maybe get some autofocus in. Guess we're just gonna go right here.
Mm-hmm. BPU in there.
So Jeremy, we're talking about more higher tier cameras.
Mm-hmm.
You just recently upgraded. Want to tell us about
Yes.
that whole experience?
Yeah, that's so. For the past couple years, I guess, we've been shooting primarily me and my production team. We do videos on another YouTube channel called Ismahawk, and we usually shoot on the FS7. But recently, within the past couple months, we've upgraded to a Red Gemini now, and it's been pretty awesome so far. Because we also do a lot of visual effects and compositing and CG work, and having higher resolution sensor shooting 16-bit color makes compositing so much easier, and we're able to get visual effects plates, and obviously Red's ecosystem has an entire workflow in post that helps us out immensely if we ever need it. So it's also interesting jumping back and forth between Super 35 and full frame-ish, because I always leave my speed booster on my FS7, so occasionally I'll catch myself going, oh wait, I forgot a 24 doesn't look super wide.
Which is interesting. So in the light meter series that I did, we were talking about how I expose S-Log. I've been getting a lot of questions too about how I expose S-Log. technically I do it one stop over with a speed booster, and that's only so I can get middle grade to 41 IRE. So I'm interested in seeing, eventually I'll do some latitude tests and all that jazz with this camera, and I'll see how maybe, because the ISO performance on this, the low light, it's crazy.
Yeah, from what I've seen.
It is so 12,800 looks like ISO
clean.
base or high base 4,000 on this looks cleaner than the FS7 2000, which is ridiculous. All right, we're gonna pipe this on, turn this guy on. The first time, be on. Hopefully this should come through. Maybe I need
Also, these core versions of the BPU batteries are dope. They have a D-tap in the back of it, so you don't have to like try and squeeze something on top.
Yeah, and this way, now that I have a bunch of these, I have a bunch of these core batteries now. So now, if I need to go out on like a small, quick B-roll stash or whatever, this is my package right here.
Yeah.
This is
You
cool.
can add a little handle inside.
I like this. Yeah, even like a little grip right here.
Yeah.
This is super nice. I love that. All right, I'm gonna set this up really quick. I think, yeah.
I wonder when this is gonna die out. I do not like these kind of shock mounts for microphones.
What? Oh, these.
things,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't even bother with that. What's the date? Third?
Yeah, I have no sense of time
It is
anymore.
third.
It is third.
Third time. Oh, geez, Louise.
2020.
I feel like I should be getting a picture. Maybe no video. Maybe I need to try. Yeah, I probably need to mess with the settings.
Is it
Time.
one of those things you have to activate first?
12. Jeez, I hope not. This is probably super exciting. This is what you all came here to see. Me set up the
Setting date and
menu.
time.
Jeez Louise. All right. Let's pop into this menu. Oh,
Oh.
we got a
Oh.
picture.
There it is.
There it is.
Full frame 6K. Cool.
Our settings are super off, but there you go. There's our first hand look at the wrong white balance and an
No,
incorrect
it's
shot.
not wrong. It's a creative
It's a creative, yeah, it's a
choice.
creative decision. So let me go ahead and mess with all of these really quick. Yeah, they changed all these menus around, which is cool, but a lot of
you have
people,
to kind of
yeah,
relearn
a lot of
it.
people complained about the FS7. I mean, I honestly did not mind it so much.
It felt like it was just like any other camera. Like, it just takes you a minute to get used to and learn it. Like, learn the layout of the menu, and then after that, you're fine. I can understand where they're coming from. Like, people are coming from when they're
Also
jumping from a
29.97.
DSLR up.
So I'm like super focused. Record format. Here, let's go to 2398. It shouldn't matter too much for the stream.
This is solid.
All right, what do we got? 1DX2 over the FX9. And those are just different cameras.
Yeah, different tools.
Yeah, the 1DX is a very nice out of camera. Well, now they're both very nice out of camera, but the motion JPEG, I was not a fan of the video codecs on the 1DX2. The 1DX3 looks like really cool because it has 10-bit internal. But yeah, they're just two different, way different tools that, like if I did like a lot of nightclub stuff or whatever, or I just wanted a small
Yeah.
Little body, like maybe, but
It's apples and oranges,
yeah,
really.
yeah, they're both great. Like it's so hard, it's like impossible to find a bad camera nowadays. All right, white balance. How in the
With like different cameras, pros and cons. Like, if once you learn the cons of a camera, you just work around it. Like, it's fine.
All right, so I'm gonna go to ISO, and then white balance. So I'm gonna go into this D-pad. There's this new D-pad right here
Yeah, there's no.
that I'm like, there's no wheel. I'm so used to the wheel. I'm like kind of struggling. I'm like,
It's like you have to relearn it.
yeah, I'm like I keep pushing the wrong buttons. All right, let's go to white.
They also took the hand grip from the FS5, which I love the
can you
hand
just do
grip from the
that?
FS5. Interesting. The cable's built in, and it's a little like.
Yeah, so it's a multi-connection. So
Yeah.
they use this cable, and supposedly this is supposed to give you like faster menu operations, faster responsiveness. I ditch this. I have the shape arm that I was going to put on this, but I've heard that the sizes don't quite match up, so I'll have to do a little bit of fiddling with that. Okay, so settings. So let me see. Is this iris? Is this iris? Iris.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez Louise, it's like a whole new camera.
Yeah, it's almost as if it's brand new.
I'm trying to figure out how to change my iris.
Wow. It might be hard to see in the compression of the live stream, but like I'm looking at the monitor right in front of me. Also, you just upgraded your monitor too. It looks incredible.
I did. I got that P3X. Stay tuned for that video. No. How in the heck
Wow,
do
that
you
is so
change your
clean.
iris?
That's crazy.
Shutter iris. Shutter. I'm tripping. Auto manual. Is this it?
It's also very sharp.
Okay, that's interesting. So it looks like it's almost like it's very much so like a. If you want to go to this menu, it's very much so like a. It reminds me of a C300 where you click the multifunction dial and then you can scroll around to whatever you want, and then.
That's cool.
So it looks like you don't have a dedicated iris wheel, which is. I don't know how I feel about that.
I thought you could set one.
You maybe you can. Maybe just leave it like that. Let's see. So let's go to 800 for the low base. So this is 800. And there, I wonder also, let me just turn on the, see if I can turn on the autofocus or find that. Focus. Fire responsive, face priority, so everything is pretty much on. So, this is our setup.
Let me turn on the lights.
And I'm vignetting a little bit. That's only because I have a smaller outer diameter ring. Let's take this off really quick. So, where's autofocus? This is too funny. If it's just on, maybe I need to turn it on. Turn it on or something.
There's some purists who are like, no autofocus on cinema cameras.
That's what it is. I had to switch it off.
But like, have you ever shot an hour-long interview where the subject is just sitting there and just keeps leaning back and forth?
All right, what's
Yeah.
up?
Does it work?
I think so. Let me. There you go. There's a little box. Maybe iris down a little bit. That's pretty cool. And this is Cinetone right out of camera. So everything that I've.
Dude, Cinetone is pretty awesome because it kind of emulates the Venice color signs, right? But in
Yeah, yeah, it's brought down from the Venice.
trickle down.
Very, very cool. So this is what we're rocking
Little
with.
baby Venice.
Yeah, it's a little baby Venice. And the fact that I can, like this, even subtract all this, like just having this as a nice like B-roll package, that's super cool.
I wonder if you can detach. Oh yeah, you can. It's just like you can take the handle off using little Allen keys. Right? Yeah, they're Allen keys. And then you can put on your own rosette adapter if you want to keep it on the camera itself. So you have a little grip here. Wow, this is nice.
Yeah, it is pretty nice.
It's a nice little weight here.
Let's see. I've used A7, A6000, FS5, F7, XT cams. Menus are nuts compared to. Yeah, the Blackmagic. I've been using the crap out of my Pocket 6K. I have actually two of them now, by the way. But the menus of the Pocket 6K are so responsive, so snappy, and I love using it every single time. I actually don't mind the Sony menus just because I use the camera so much that it's like, you know, use a camera enough and, you know, you'll know it like the back of your hand. So
Yeah,
as
exactly.
convoluted as these may be, I, you know, use it enough and, you know, you'll get to know them. Yeah, so this looks fantastic. I'm super excited. Let's
So
shout out to your boy, homeboy.
yeah,
What's up?
let's go. So are you planning on getting the extension?
So the only real need for the extension is for RAW, and I haven't.
Would you use the super slot in the back for the Sony UMPs or WMPs?
Probably not. You're talking about for the sound?
Yeah, for audio.
Probably not, because if I need audio, I have someone else running audio.
Yeah,
So
fair.
maybe if I eventually wanted, like, if I'm doing a one band type thing and I wanted to like have nice audio, but then I don't know. Since I have timecode already built in, it's adding that extra back and adding that extra battery. It's nice to have, but it's just this is nice. I really like this.
Yeah.
This is super cool. I'm excited. All right, so let's see what else. We still got to get to our little Vista Prime demo. But yeah, I'd be real. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I want to see the high base ISO. We're doing good, Alex. How you doing? What's up? Zcam fam, that's tight. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people. Have you seen the Zcams floating around? I've seen a lot of hype around the Zcams.
I've been seeing some cool stuff with the Zcam.
So I think right now,
cool dial.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I think right now you're in the. There's some way. I think we can program one of these assignable buttons to switch between the high and low bass.
Yeah. So you can't just scroll to the higher bass ISO. There's a limit on it.
Bass sensitivity, yeah. So I would probably. So now we're in high bass, and if we want to, so this is 4000 ISO, and now we get to see this new fancy ND, which is nice, which is variable. Let's see, these are the presets.
You know how many times I've switched the physical ND wheel on the FS7 and it stops halfway in between? It doesn't click all the way.
So that's why I'm really excited they moved towards this button system, because I've had plenty of times where the ND wheel has just gotten loose and just free spins, where you have to get I think it's a 0.9 Allen key and then tighten it down, which is super annoying because
Either
sometimes
that or like I'll switch it in between the NDs, but the wheel will click, but the ND wheel itself will like stop maybe a quarter of the way through, and so you'll still get like a corner of that vignette on the side.
Yep, and exactly.
And
so
I won't notice it right away because like I'm trying to.
Yeah, and then when you shoot the super cool shot, and then there's like a
and you realize there's a little thing right in the corner.
So the cool thing about this very ND is that you can go from all the way to 0 while you're on the variable setting. So if I just keep, if you want to.
That is really cool.
So yeah, go into there, and if I just keep going down, and then if you want to go to the menu. If you keep going down far enough, it'll just go to clear, which is really cool.
So variable ND can go to clear.
And then if I come back up, and it's also interesting to note that when you do engage the variable ND, there is a color change, but that's supposedly it's electronically compensated for.
Yeah.
So watch, if I take this ND off, just look at something white, and then you'll see the color slightly change. See that slight shift? See, as I turn it on, it gets a little cooler. As I turn it off, it gets a little warmer. But apparently that's compensated for electronically within the camera. So I'd be interested in testing that and putting them against my NDs of choice. I use the Schneiders. But so it still looks like your minimum is 2 stops. You can go to 1 stop. But yeah, this is 4000 base cool. ISO. This looks.
Have you tried full spectrum NDs?
Yeah, those are the ones I have. The Rhodiums, they're full spectrum NDs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Apparently, so if you guys didn't already know, every set of NDs affect different sensors differently. And I know that sounds intuitive, but like you think that, I tested out these sets of filters that I like on one camera. You can't just take it to another camera system with a different sensor and still have it match. So if you're gonna buy a set of NDs, test them for your camera of choice that you'll be using it on. Because I noticed your Rhodiums look great on Sony sensors, like specifically the FS7. But when I bring it over to the Gemini, it has a slight green cast to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's, easy to dial out.
I'd be
with a
interested
red
in
raw.
I'd be interested in testing them out on this guy and comparing them against the Very ND. Yeah, the autofocus looks great. I'm really impressed with that. Actually, let me walk around. Let me call an audible. So I'm gonna come over here. Jeremy will stay there. Come over to your boy. What's up? All right, let me. So this is 4000 ISO. It looks super good. It's looking clean. I'm gonna cross really quick. Crossing. Yeah, that looks pretty dang clean to me.
Asks, what is the dynamic range and is it 12-bit?
I already answered that.
Yeah, this camera actually records 10-bit internally, XAVC-I as the highest bit rate recording codec.
With the extension back, I think they're working on 16-bit RAW,
Yeah.
which is cool.
RAW is inherently 16-bit.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, that's not always the case, but yeah, when you're recording internally, it's 10-bit.
Oh, let me just get in the way here. All right, what else? What else are people saying?
Let's see. Autofocus is dope. Thoughts on buying an FS7 now? Now that the FX9 is out?
Interesting question.
Yeah.
I just bought a second one.
You just
I literally just did that. So one of these is Jeremy's, and then two of these are mine. I got the overhead rig up there. Yeah, I still totally bought one because this camera, as I said, there's no current market for it right now. People are still going to be asking for FS7s forever. I don't see this anytime soon replacing the people immediately jumping ship. The reason I jumped at this camera is just because of the dual base ISO, the autofocus performance. Those are things that kind of are really important to me and kind of suit my workflow really well. So, yeah. What's it say at the bottom? Anything else? Anything good?
Oh, the stabilization.
The stabilization looks really cool. I've seen a couple videos online floating around.
Yeah.
I wonder if that version of Catalyst Browse is out. I think it might be.
Yeah, I'm pretty
So
sure it's out
if it is,
yeah,
I'm going to be trying it out.
Third-party programs will start adopting it too, I imagine.
Yeah, and that'll be super cool.
Dude, Resolve? Because you recently switched over completely Resolve.
Yeah, I'm 100% Resolve now. I do not mess with Premiere.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see because the stabilization for the FX9 is unlike other cameras that do stabilization. They don't do it internally. Sony's adopted the in-post approach for that.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I'm really excited to mess with that stuff. And yeah, the clips that I have seen that do it, they look incredible. All right, so what do you want to do? You want to build this out, or do you want to go to maybe some Vista Primes?
Let's build it out and then put the Vista Primes on.
Speaking my language, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, that's cool.
Cool.
Looks really cool. Yeah, I'm really excited about this, and then we might do some reconfiguring. Yeah, that 4000 ISO looks clean. Actually, really quick, let me just really quickly go to 12.8. Yeah. Just because we can, just because we're here. So I still got to learn how to use this thing. 4000, I'm going to go up to 564, 8, 10, 12,800.
What a time to be alive. What is this?
Wow. Wow, that's incredible. That looks super good.
Yeah.
Here, let me put this on the shoulder. And there we go. Wow.
So even when I'm looking like almost profile.
Still gets you. I gotcha. Where you going?
Dude, that's pretty cool.
So snappy. Here, turn it all the way around. Like all the way around, and then just do a whip pan. That's pretty good. It's pretty solid.
Yeah. And you can change the sensitivity too.
Yeah, it's basically
Adjust
like the
everything.
like A7 series. So that'll be interesting to play with. Right now, I think it's just on the wide mode, so any kind of face.
Is it basically the same autofocus system that they brought over from the A7R3?
Pretty much, from what I can tell, yes, but even better. It seems even better than that.
Yeah.
Because
They've improved.
I've had maybe some reliability issues with that system.
So it has the eye autofocus?
I think it will. It's planned for a future firmware. So eventually it'll get the eye.
For pets?
and also the pets.
Yes.
Well, it's actually super useful. I've actually used that. I've taken some photos of some dogs, and I can tell you having that eye for the dogs.
I can't even imagine.
That are like running around going crazy.
And now you have it on the camera. Like, dude, Animal Planet, hit us up.
What's the difference between S-Log and Cinetone? So S-Log is obviously the logarithmic format, so it's very flat. You need to grade it. Cinetone is meant to be just a good Rec 709 kind of out of camera, just straight out of camera. Here you go. Maybe you need to modify it a little bit, but if you want to bake in a really good look, that's what Cinetone's for, and it was brought down from the Venice.
Yeah. And that's if you don't want to color grade or anything like that.
Yeah, if you don't want to grade, I mean, yeah,
If you
should
don't want to
grade
grade, then you can leave it as is. But, you know, if you do want to make any adjustments like contrast, brightness, you know, stuff like that.
And it's great because I would say probably maybe 50, it's a 50-50 split in between my clients that request flat log and want something baked in. So for like a lot of the music festivals or whatever, they always want to bake something in just because it's quick, easier workflow. So if you just want to bake something in really quick for a fast delivery, or you don't have to want to worry about grading, that's why you want to bake something in like Cinetone. And that's why I'm really excited about Cinetone because, you know, again, adopted from the Venice. I think the Venice is a super cool camera. Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
So
that's 12,000. That's that'll be my next live stream.
Sony Venice.
We'll get the Sony Venice in. It's interesting though. The Sony Venice, you can't even bake in any kind of Rec 709 look.
Yeah.
It's strictly log. So.
You can bake in a LUT though, right?
I don't think you can even bake in a LUT.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's straight up. You're getting some log.
You sure about that?
I'm 99% sure you can't bake in anything on the Venice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like an FS7 FX9. It's literally Sony's flagship.
That's fair.
From what I understand. Yep, basically Rec 709. Do you see? What are your thoughts on AF in terms of our industry? Where do you see it going?
Mostly corporate, and I imagine some documentary stuff because when you're shooting narrative, like you're making creative choices about focus. So your first AC is always going to be pulling focus on a narrative gig, but if you're on a corporate shoot or you're doing talking heads, anything like that, for example, autofocus is extremely useful because you don't know the struggle unless you've shot an hour or 2 hour long interview and you have to sit there paying full attention the entire time pulling focus because the person likes, you know, who's being interviewed is like moving back and forth constantly, or like they like to talk with their hands, or you know they're fidgety, moving back and forth, and having autofocus just purely for that purpose, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So to demonstrate this, I have a 51.4, the beautiful 51.4. We're gonna go open up all the way. I'm gonna take a look at this really quick. And again, this is at 12,800 ISO, something totally ridiculous, something I would never do on probably almost any other camera.
And also something like a one-man band type deal, like, you know, a lot of the jobs that we still do.
So yeah, eventually, like in a year or two, when this is a more prominent camera, imagine having two of these and just setting them up both, and just because normally you obviously have to have a second camera operator, but and not that I'm trying to like undermine our jobs in any way, but like having the ability to set these two cameras down and just kind of be like, all right, I don't have to worry about focus.
Only if you're a one-man band type thing and you're operating it on a gimbal of some sort.
Exactly. Because I have done that. I have set up two cameras with my. So I've had my FS7 as an A camera, A7R as a B camera, and I have had. I mean, I wouldn't call them issues, but if I leave this on autofocus, sometimes it will kind of lose, and then it'll do a quick rack, and it'll be a split second, but it still happens. Everything that I've seen from this camera so far. This autofocus looks much more reliable than what's been previously offered. So that's why I'm really excited. So we have a 51.4, a ridiculous 12,800. Let's see how your boy does. All right, so it's picking you up. Maybe bring it down, and we're actually maxed out. So we have all, is it 8 stops? 2, 4, 6, 8. We have all 8 stops going on because we're at 12,800. Maybe do a slight lean in, lean out. It's pretty snappy.
It's my blue steel.
Oh, okay. Maybe lean in and back.
Blah,
just
blah,
towards
blah,
camera.
blah. So we're doing an interview. We're standing, walking top. Maybe you're standing at a convention and you have to film some brand thing. Moving back and forth. talking to an interviewer. I'm not really on camera most of the time, and I don't know how to act. I don't know what to do with my hands. That's usually who you're going to be filming most of the time at a convention.
Wow.
It's like blah blah blah. I'm moving in and out. It's like I don't know, man.
Wow. That's great. That looks
Yeah.
awesome. That looks pretty cool. Here, you want to mess it up? Am I a custom guy or Cine EI guy? So when I used the FS7, 99.9% of the time, I was Cine EI. I would use Cine EI, and Jeremy's the same way. We would always use Cine EI. I like using exposure indexes, and I think for the more recent updates, you can bake in those exposure indexes, which is nice.
Yeah.
Especially if you're just delivering it to someone. But I've always been
Which is an odd thing because before the FS7 only, if you're in Cine AI, it doesn't bake in your ISO adjustments.
yeah, you can set it to do that now.
Yeah, you can.
But
before.
yeah, before yeah. So that was always a struggle, especially when I'm just delivering, if I'm just handing off footage to a client or whatever. But now with the advent of Cinetone and this crazy low light. So it's interesting with the FX9, Cine EI and custom now are even more kind of separated in that Cine EI still works with exposure indexes. It doesn't act, I don't think it actually, yeah, it doesn't affect the sensitivity or gain at all, whereas custom mode does. So if you switch around your ISO in Cine EI, you're not actually affecting your sensitivity, you're just affecting your exposure index. So if you're in custom mode and you actually change your ISO, you're actually affecting your gain. So after this camera, I don't know, I'll probably be maybe 50-50. But it's also, I'm also interested in seeing how the low light performance is with S-Log. So yeah, that'll be really cool too. Lighting looks great. Are you using the 300D? Yep, this is the 300D right here. Up. There you go. 300D with the light dome. We got it boomed across, and yeah, it looks great. FS7, it was worth the price difference from the Mark 1? I don't think so. The Mark 2, I don't think is worth it from the Mark 1 unless you wanted that locking email and the very ND.
Dude, I'm not even pulling focus. This is all autofocus right now.
Wow.
I'm just like, from here, let's take a look at you. Look at that. That's all autofocus.
That's pretty cool. That's tight.
Let me go back over there. Whoa. All autofocus.
Wow, that's pretty cool too. And also, I mean, that'd be interesting, you know, especially when you're doing OTF interviews and stuff like that, where you just have, you don't have necessarily any kind of like a nucleus handheld setup. So if you have your hand grips and you're doing an OTF, you can just concentrate on making the camera steady and being comfortable and not worrying so much about focus. Not saying that you should just totally throw everything you know out the window, but you know, the autofocus is cool because it's just another tool that we can add to our tool belt as filmmakers.
To use in the right situation.
To use in the right, yeah. And then this is no way trying to replace focus pullers. They're not trying to get rid of jobs or anything like that. It's just another tool that we can tuck away in our little tool pouch. Let's see. Please put hands on front of face to test autofocus. All right. So you got me next to the monitor. Hand in front of face. To me.
Dude. That's the most responsive and snappy autofocus
That's pretty cool.
I've seen.
Actually, if I maybe block I wonder how far I can block.
Hold the lens, hold the lens.
Hold the lens.
Hold the lens on top of it.
So I can get away with maybe halfway.
Damn.
It's pretty good. So cool. It's yeah.
Dude,
it's very.
I haven't touched the lens, like the focus ring at all.
Yeah, it's very smooth. It feels very organic, I think that's my main point is that from the A7R, because I've been using the A7R3, the A7 cameras don't feel as organic as this camera does, or as this autofocus does. Let's see, why the A7R3 is a B cam instead of and not the A7 III. Mostly because I have an A7R3. I had the A7R3 before the A7 III came out, so to put it simply, that's why. Let's see.
Damn, even when your head is turned, it's still locked on you.
This kind of got me.
I'm still having you framed up.
Nice, nice. All right. Want to build it out?
Yeah.
This was cool. That's wide. You're wide open too at 12,000. Well, you're wide open at 12,800. You're not even touching the focus barrel.
Yep.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Looks great.
This is the future.
It's the
Future's
future.
now, old man.
Looks great. Super good.
Yeah.
All right, let's build it out. Let's see what else we got in here. We'll do a native ISO. Ergonomics. Yeah, I'm a big fan of all the ergonomic improvements. We kind of went over all that stuff already. The remote function, the time code, being able to change your white balance in Cine EI. I'm like, what?
Yeah, what?
That's cool.
Yeah, I know
Which is
it
a crazy thing to be saying.
Yeah.
Wow, we could change our white balance.
And if you weren't an Sony user before, that's I know it sounds like something. Oh, you couldn't do that before?
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm interested in seeing how much I'll use custom mode now more than.
Do you have the Allen key for the top? Apparently, it doesn't come with the Allen key to get the handle off.
Down, we have some here. Box of tools.
Oh, pro tip, guys. You can get these at like your hardware store, Home Depot, or something. Hold all your screws and Allen keys. Super easy for your kit.
Does the AF work on native lenses? I believe so. We have them. So we're gonna throw some Vista primes on here in a sec, just to see what's up. But we also have a set of EF lenses, so we'll throw on some EF lenses. I have mainly, I have a lot of Sigma EF lenses that we can throw off and throw on and see if the autofocus works. I've heard mixed things. I've heard that it does, that it doesn't. So we'll see. What lens are we using with the FX9? Right now, this is the Sony 50 1.4. Looks fantastic. Looks great. What lens? All right, so I'm gonna ask the viewers, what Vista Prime should we put on this guy? You got that dope 18 with that new full frame. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
And that's also another thing I'm very excited for. You know, with the bigger sensor, you get a shallower depth of field, should you need it. So if you thought the depth of field was creamy on the FS7,
Yeah.
it's gonna be that good on that FX9.
You get all the nice characteristics of the full frame lens being on his body.
Yep.
That's cool.
So I'm super excited. We're not really a fan of using adapters, but you know we will if we have to. But yeah, so I think this year I might start investing more in E-mount lenses. These E-mount a lot of these E-mount lenses aren't mine, but just seeing them on this camera body now, it's like.
So this is the wooden camera top plate. One of my favorite things about this top plate specifically is they built in the 15 mil rods on the top.
That's super, yeah.
That's
because we
super nice.
usually put on rod mounts on there anyway.
Yeah,
So now just
exactly.
having that built in right here is gonna be super nice.
Very convenient.
Let's see, how does the size compare to the FS7? It looks a little chunkier. That's a good question. I would pop one off and compare, but we're actually using them, all our FS7s. It looks,
Oh.
yeah, you gotta take that guy off. Do you need you got one? It looks, I don't know. How do you feel the size compares to the FS7?
I'd say it's very similar. It's pretty much the same, minus like some adjustments in the back.
Yeah, it looks sleeker, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it looks more organic.
It's about around the same size, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, about the same size, I would say. All right, so everyone's saying 18. Someone says 135. I actually don't have the 135.
Egregious.
That's
Why don't you already? Who are you?
I don't know. I'm not a real DP.
You're sleeping.
I am. At least I'm not UPS.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's just burn some bridges on live
Chill.
broadcast.
Chill. Just chill.
All right, so we got our beloved 18 right here. Love this guy. So as soon as this guy is all good to go. I also got a gold mount plate for this guy. Because we usually use those bigger style batteries. But now, since we don't need the back, it's kind of a toss-up between whether or not I need this. I still will for obviously bigger sets and bigger productions. Obviously, this is a must. But for smaller stuff, corporate, easy stuff, this is all you need. It's great. Was the C500 Mark II anywhere on your radar? Is your reason why you chose the FX9 over the C500? Yeah, it was mainly because I've been a Sony user, and we are so accustomed to S-Log, and we're already kind of really accustomed to the workflow.
That's not taken away from any of Canon's like C series cameras.
Yeah, totally not.
Because the C500 Mark III or Mark II looks incredible.
Yeah, I love using that camera.
Yeah.
It's a very ergonomically well designed.
The 300 Mark II?
Yeah, the 300 Mark II. Super good.
Dude, the new design for the C500 Mark II looks incredible, and that, in my opinion, is the best way they could have improved the form factor, because now it's modular and it builds off the back of the camera, which is awesome. Because before the C300 Mark II and Mark I, you have to put on a base plate with rails and then an extension off the back.
Yep.
And it sounds like a nitpick, but
yeah, I have also. I think there is a latitude test floating online from the FX9 versus the C500 Mark II, and in every instance, from a latitude perspective, the FX9 came out on top. Obviously under the Venice, but I think the Venice is a super cool camera. I love the Venice. I love that movie. Like now you're starting to see it in a bunch of Hollywood movies. Top Gun. That Top Gun trailer, y'all seen that Top Gun trailer?
Yeah, that's up. And by the way,
y'all haven't seen that Top Gun trailer, you pause this live stream, go watch the Top Gun trailer, come back to this live stream.
Yeah, Venice with Sigma Cine Primes.
Oof.
For the cockpit.
So cool.
It's crazy.
So cool. I love the Venice.
Right.
I think there's another Netflix show, Sex Education. I think that was on the Venice with
Which side do you want this on?
Master Primes. That's a great question. Probably.
That side?
Yeah, it's cool. FX9 versus FS7 menu. What are my thoughts? They did change. From what I was just digging around. They are pretty similar. They did change them around a little bit, so that is going to take a little bit of getting used to. Honestly, what's going to take me more of an adjustment is not having the jog wheel, because I'm so used to the jog wheel. Some people hate the jog. They can't stand it. This one has a new D-pad, which is super nice, but in me just setting it up just now for the first 5 seconds, I kept pressing the wrong button just because I'm not used to it. So the menus, they seem, I would say 80 to 90% similar. So not too much of a learning curve there. Let's see, I might have skipped over a few questions. So if I did, apologies. Feel free to send it again if I haven't answered it. What's up, Christian? Christian's on that live stream. Homie was here. He was here last night, and we were just waiting on UPS to wake up.
Damn UPS.
Damn, you getting thrown out of the bus. What's up? Let's see. Yeah. So I got that top plate. Wooden camera, Zacuto VCT Pro. We could probably skip on the gold mount plate for now.
Oh, I see. That makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, the rod.
My bad. It's my first day, guys.
Yes, brother. We've actually never done this before. I don't even know what a camera is.
Yeah. What's ISO?
We didn't even check out this this guy. Where's the viewfinder? So we need to take this guy off again, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they got a little. That's nice. Oh, I like that. Okay, so if you want to check this out, I don't have an extra one. So the FS7 one, if y'all remember, there's a tiny little Allen screw that you had to unscrew to take this off. This just has a little locking mechanism right there. Boom, off. Super nice. Put this guy back on. So the reason I got this, the wooden camera arm, is because traditionally, where's that handle? This guy. This is usually too short for me. and especially if I want to put a lot. Usually, so and I'm going to talk all about this sometime in the future, but with camera rigging, you want usually the lens mount to be on the center of the shoulder, so to have a well-balanced rig. A lot of times people will have their rigs and they'll have just their shoulder, so if I have which I don't, if I have a shoulder plate right here, their camera rig will be kind of in front of them, and that's not quite optimal because you're still putting a lot of that weight onto your arm, so you usually want the lens mount kind of in the center of the shoulder, and then you can put, batteries or whatever, or accessories on the back to help counterbalance it. Ideally, if it's on your shoulder and you have an EVF, if you just let go and it just doesn't move, then it's a well-balanced rig. So that's the reason I got the wooden camera arm for the viewfinder, because it's long enough so I can push that more forward. And additionally, with this loop is just notoriously super long. So that's why I like having a longer EVF, viewfinder mount, whatever. All right. How's battery on this guy? Oh, and we on. Let's see. Can you see any discernible difference between that LCD? Maybe?
Interesting. So I just noticed this.
Huh, I can't.
On the loop itself, there's a little latch on the bottom where if you unclip it, you can take that off. So this stays on.
Is that on the Mark II or no? I don't remember.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, we haven't used the Mark II, the FS7 Mark
Yeah,
II.
we only have the Mark ones.
Which is, yeah.
I like
We
that.
only have the Mark
That's
ones.
cool. It's the only.
Yeah, the Mark I's fine. Mark I's perfect. All right, so
It works.
this Mark I is beautiful. And so if I wanted to, there you go.
Dude, I know this is a small, tiny detail.
We love them. We love tiny details.
Yeah, the back of the FX9 screws are holding the cap for the extension unit in the back. Where on the old one, it's just a little plastic cap that you friction fit on, and it always falls off.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have mine anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, I do. So this is the old cap.
Yeah.
The old back cap would always kind of fall.
And it's just something you press onto the back, but now this one is.
Screwed in, locked
Yeah.
in. Which, yeah, I mean, in both, it's a double-edged sword, because now if I wanted to put on the gold mount back,
Yeah, now you have to
not to unscrew it, but, no free lunch.
Nitpicks.
Nitpicks. Do I see myself shooting nightlife with the FX9? Abso-freaking-lutely. I don't really shoot nightlife too much anymore, though. But if I did, I would take away probably this base plate. I would take away this, and honestly, actually, let me just do that right now. So, actually, before we do that, let's throw the tear deck back on.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick.
Real quick, like.
Real quick.
You need to get that wedge adapter, so you can just click.
I think my kit actually came with one, but I haven't used it yet. All right, so we're just gonna go into SDI 2. If you guys prefer a clean feed, let me know, and I'll pop it into SDI 1.
We should do an Art of the Rig live stream.
Art of the Rig. Rigging 101.
Rigging 101.
That would be cool. If you guys.
So many times I see rigs that do the opposite of what a rig should do.
Yeah, especially with what I was just saying with balance.
Yeah,
and,
balance
and stuff
ease
like
of
that.
use, quality of life.
And if it works for you, that's cool. But
Yeah.
we're just sharing our experiences and stuff that works for us, and all that stuff. So yeah, if I was doing nightlight stuff, I would let's get rid of some of this excess. Without obviously the tear deck, something like this. I might even take off this top plate because I feel like this top plate is adding a little bit of weight, but I don't really mind it. But with this top plate, it'd be an even smaller package, which is nice.
Yeah.
So it's clean.
But now you're ready to rig anything.
Yeah, so that's why, that's also a part of that rigging philosophy is that, modularity is key. So if you wanted to add a gold mount battery, base plate, PCT, any of this stuff, extension back,
You can if you want.
G-tap power, all that stuff you can if you want. And that's also another thing that we always see with people's camera rigs. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. A lot of people will rig out their like A6000 and make it like this big with lights and mics and all this
Just get
stuff.
an FS7 then.
Which is cool. Like if that works for you, like that's
Yeah,
cool.
that's
But
I know everyone.
my
has
number
different
my number
situations.
one pet peeve though, I will say, is when people use like they'll just get like a map box off of Amazon, and it's not like connected or anything.
Yeah.
They're not using any kind of filters. They're just trying to flex, which is cool. If you're trying to flex all you want. But
Yeah.
hey man, it's just a flex.
Okay.
Yeah. People are interested in that rigging stream, so maybe we'll do that at some point too. 3 audio recorders and 2 LEDs. We should do that with this. My review. That's how I'm gonna open
Put
my
a Tascam underneath here.
my FX9 review is gonna open with that. It's just gonna have like 3 audio recorders.
Yeah.
LED. I'm gonna put like my 300D up there. And my sky panel too, even just be like, "What's up, guys? This
Your
is my
sky
rig."
panel. Okay.
Ridiculous.
All right. Whoa.
Whoa,
Getting
getting too excited there.
Put an iPad on here.
All right, Vista Prime.
Vista
Prime time. Here, we'll put that back. So we have a Metabones, because all my Vista Primes are EF mount. So I'm gonna throw this adapter on.
Very interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm already getting used to this. I like this. I like
Yeah.
this locking.
So you put the lens on straight. There's no like turning
Yeah,
it.
you just line up the dots.
Yeah, which is how my
Here, actually, I'll do it again.
Cine version
Yeah,
of the
your Cine Speed Booster? Yeah.
Which I love, by the way. I know it's a little more tedious, like you can't just do it one hand anymore, you have to use both hands, but I much prefer that because no matter what kind of lens I put on, I can always torque it down so that it's super solid. There's no play.
So basically, you just line up the dots. Line up the dots. And there's no twisting or anything. You just line up the dots and then lock the collar. Basically like PL.
Yeah.
It's a PL, but for E-mount, which is really nice. Okay, so we're back in business. We got the adapter going. Let's throw this Vista Prime on. That good.
Yeah, good.
That beefy boy should get our lens support.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. All right. Bam. There you go.
Goodness.
That is a beefy boy.
Thanks, Ryan Avery.
Yeah, shout out to Ryan Avery from Tokina. There you go. Where's my autofocus? It's not working.
This lens sucks. There's no autofocus.
Let's see here. Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Yeah. It's just so funny seeing complaints sometimes. Like, what? Huh?
All right, let's see. Let's put this on the shoulder like a madman. So here you're looking at a Vista Prime on the FX9.
You're getting full benefit of that full frame.
That is a wide looking frame. Jeez Louise. It's hard for me to,
You're like standing arm's length away from me.
that's wild.
This is my new selfie camera.
What's up, yo?
Yo,
We
what
about
up,
to blow. What up? Oh my god, too ridiculous. That's a beefy boy. I like it. Wow. That's a rig right there.
That's a rig.
Rig boys. All right, let's see. FX9 built-in mic. Yeah, it does have a built-in mic. It does have a scratch mic. Mine is not configured at all, but it does. One thing that I'm also interested in finding out is if it has because the FS7, you're stuck with the 8 channels of audio, which annoyed the crap out of me. I could not stand bringing in FS7 files in post because you would have 8 channels of audio.
Wait, the FX9 doesn't have that anymore?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't-
You're getting me excited.
I don't know.
man.
I don't know. If it does, that'd be tight.
That 8 channels of audio, even though it's not recording 8 channels,
But-
oh my goodness.
But you do have the 4 dial. I'm gonna swing around.
Yeah.
But you do have the 4 dials to change. The first 2 are for the inputs 1 and 2, and then 3 to 4 are for the extension or the Sony mics. Let's see. No issues with the size and the weight of it versus the Metabones. No issues for size on me. I'm not sure your Metabones question. Yeah, this is pretty. Weight of it versus The meta mounts.
Yeah, that. I just saw what you mean. Like now I want to put on the extension,
Right? Yeah, to kind of balance it out.
and I have to.
Yeah, with the
grab a
so
set.
if I'm putting the Vista Primes on it, I'm probably going to be putting my my gold mount plate on.
Yeah.
Which do you have it? So this is the Win Camera Pro plate. Jeremy's a huge fan of this plate.
I love the Pro Plate. Like, Anton Bauer and Wooden Camera partnered together to make these Pro Plates, and it's the most solid third-party like battery plates I've ever used. It's all metal construction, and it's basically bulletproof. And it comes with 3 D taps rather than the standard 2 on most plates.
Wait.
Wow, that's on there. Am I
Wait.
missing something?
Weight of the what are you talking about?
Is it like a? Interesting. Does it slide back?
Oh, it looks like you peel it this way. It wants to come out.
Yeah.
Ooh, I feel like I'm gonna break it. Break this new FX. I don't know about all that. All right, so after this, let's try.
Oh, it is slide back. You slide
Just
it
slide
back.
straight back?
Yeah. Pro tip, guys: if you want to take this off, slide it back.
All right, so here I got a 50 here. So in a sec we can try out the autofocus. So on an EF mount.
So I'm gonna shut this down. Wow, this switch is so much more solid than the FS7. I know sometimes the FS7,
Ooh.
some people have actually like bumped it accidentally.
And I know that Sony, they're planning on coming out with their own series of E-mount Cine lenses with autofocus, which is going to be pretty cray. So that's going to be cool.
Are those the part of the G Master line, or is it like a new?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think they're. I want to say they're new, but I could be mistaken. I don't know if they. I don't know if the 16 to 35. I don't know if that's available on launch. But yeah, I mean that's Cine lens, autofocus Cine lenses. That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
All right, we could probably go to the overhead. Let me get a battery.
Would you look at that? Look at that. It sits flat, like vertical now.
That's nice. And what's also nice, because this is actually how I rigged my FS7. I had this kind of similar battery plate. And the battery slide is nice because you can reposition the battery up like that. You can, and then
Slide it out of the way to like.
and then you still have access to your internal batteries. So it's nice because so you can technically hot swap batteries, which is kind of cool.
That is really cool. Would you look at that?
Without a shark fin.
Would you look at it?
Look at it. Just lock this guy down.
Good.
And obviously the
Wow, going by touch now, it's like where am I?
what camera is this?
Hey, 1 second.
Yeah, the cable situation is looking like a mess right now, but do as I say, not as I do.
Cable management 101. Art of the rigging.
Yeah,
101.
rigging 101, cable management, major key. Major key. I don't know what I'm doing. All right,
Come on, man. This is your first day?
it's my first day. All right, there you go. That's rigged out FS7, pretty much. Cool. So we got probably time for a couple more demos. Is there anything you guys want to see? Right now I'm going to throw on this 50. This is a Canon EF mount Sigma 50 mil that I'll throw on and see if the autofocus works. If there's anything else you guys want to see, let us know and we'll try to do it real quick before we get out of here.
One thing, and this is another, like, again, small nitpick from me personally. I wish the first input of the XLR had AES option for digital input so that you can bypass the gain staging in the preamps. But, again, who's the market for this? You know.
Okay, that's interesting. So if you switch to the feed,
Yeah.
if I go ahead and try to engage autofocus, it tells me cannot execute functions because of the condition of the lens. So maybe not. Maybe this, I also haven't updated this metabones at all, so that could be it. But as of now, doesn't look like it works.
Condition of the lens. Interesting.
That's cool.
Is the autofocus switch on?
Yeah. So, yeah, on the lens, yep.
Yeah.
It's on.
Interesting.
So I guess maybe not.
Update.
Yeah, maybe I'll need to update it. I don't know.
Yeah. Firmware update for the.
No side handle. Yes, it does have a side handle. We just haven't messed with it yet. So this is actually, I think, the FS5 handle, the grip.
Like an improved FS5 handle.
Yeah, it's got the little strap, which is nice. This I actually kind of really
Dial
appreciate
actually
this stuff.
feels like there's clicking on it.
And then I did get, if I have it somewhere, I did get the shape arm. I did get this guy, but I've heard that it doesn't quite line up. I haven't tried it yet. I don't want to do that now on the stream, but I'll be sure to let you guys know. But just so we can plug it in, I've heard that it's much more responsive than the LAN C cable. And also an interesting point is that it still has a LAN C port right here, so you can still use your old FS7 grip if you wanted to. And you can use them. I've heard that you can use them both with the new grip at the same time, simultaneously. If for whatever reason you're feeling spicy.
Put one on each side, even though they're both right-hand grip.
Yep, you're right.
You can have your AC standing right behind you, next to you.
I also really like this clip here. So if you punch into here, there's this clip here that keeps the thing locked in, and you just
that's cool.
snap it in, locks it in. That's pretty cool.
Little quality of life improvements.
It's the small things.
It's the small
It's the
things.
small things. All right, so if I want to go into direct menu here, let's see. Have the little joystick. Oh, this is a nice little.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's super snappy. I like that.
Cool.
Yeah, and I like. It's interesting that that doesn't. It's very. It reminds me of the C300 just because of like you
It
just
reminds me of the PSP joystick.
the little nubs. Yeah. Yeah, that is that's pretty snappy. Drop test.
Drop test.
We'll do that one in the next stream, so be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be sure to check out our drop test.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's super nice. That is
Time
nice.
code and Genlock is already on the body.
Already on.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
Amazing.
We use tentacles all the time. I did a tentacle review. Check it out. We love tentacles. Now I don't need the back. The back's on there, but I can easily take it off. So yeah, it'd be interesting. So I think what this will probably end up doing for me is, depending on the gig, depending on what I'm doing, that'll determine what kind of configuration I go out.
Yo, volume button.
Yo, we got
volume button on the camera.
We got a new
on the
volume button. What's up with that volume button? What's up with that good volume button right here? That's tight.
You know, sometimes
That's
I feel
tight.
like Sony is the camera world's Apple.
We have a volume button.
Yeah.
Real quick, VariND. VariND is really cool. It's actually on right now. If you look at the bottom of the screen, we are all the way maxed out at 8 stops. So this is full VariND, and we went over this earlier. It does introduce a little bit of a color cast, but it is electronically compensated for. So if I take it out and maybe iris down, see if I can. So if I engage the ND, so the moment I push the button, you can see this right now. There's this very, very slight color cast if you check out the whites. Boom. But I guess that's compensated for internally, so.
Press it again. So, yeah, it switches before the ND is engaged.
Comes on, yeah.
Interesting. That's a cool way to get around it.
You want to cook 18 to 100? Yeah, we'll get right on that.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We're gonna need a bigger rig.
All right, y'all. Well, yeah, that's pretty much our first look at the FX9. This was super fun. This is really cool being able to pipe it in and letting you all check it out. And again, all that stuff was at 12,800 ISO. It looks super clean. It's something it just baffles my mind that we can do that now.
It's cool. Sony didn't make anything worse. It's just a bunch of improvements.
Yeah.
Small improvements.
Let me,
all
really
around.
quick, just for kicks and giggles, let me throw in one more email. What do we got? We got, let's do a 24. So actually, here's another good, all right, last test. So this is a E-mount 24mm Sigma art lens, but an E-mount.
E-mount? Okay.
Yes, it's a rolling up. Thoughts on the FX9 rolling shutter? I don't know yet. I'll let you know. How do you find the rolling shutter on the Gemini?
On the Gemini?
Yeah.
It's still up there, but not nearly as noticeable as other cameras.
Honestly, I mean, if I'm being honest, I personally never really notice it unless it's like terrible.
Yeah.
It's just not something that I'm.
I personally notice it because a lot of the stuff that we shoot, like we.
Yeah, if you're doing a lot of action stuff, that makes sense.
Action choreo, like quick movement, like that. Like it's definitely noticeable for me personally, but it's never an issue unless we're compositing. Like if you're doing visual effects compositing on rolling shutter footage, oh my goodness, that's the whole thing to get around. But the Gemini, it seems perfectly fine to me, even though there's slight traces of it, but not an issue.
Yeah, this new multifunction wheel I think is going to get a little getting used to just because I never had anything like this. All right, so really quick, before we gotta go out in just a couple minutes. Let me just open this up to get that nice cinematic look.
Cinema.
Cinematic.
Okay.
All right, so let's see.
Buy my LUT pack.
Buy my LUT pack, all that stuff. All right, so is it gonna get you? There it is. Gotcha.
It's working?
It's working.
Awesome.
It's working. It's working. That's cool. That's tight.
Wow.
Yeah, super snappy. Walk, maybe like do a walk. I know we have a bunch of boxes and stuff everywhere. There you go, yeah. Maybe that's a little, yeah. I mean, you're still in focus, but we do have this huge light in front of us. Actually, let me come to you.
You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. Hey, it's Bill Wire with the Wonder List.
Welcome to the Wonder List. Shout out to Philip Bloom. Let's go. Out of focus here. Let's see if it'll catch Jimmy at all. Maybe it probably would if I mess with the autofocus zone. But right now, I think it's just looking for the nearest source.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's still really good.
On a Sigma?
Yeah, this is on a Sigma too. What you think, Mike?
It's pretty saucy.
First thoughts.
It's pretty saucy.
Yeah, get that
Extra
sauce.
sauce.
We're
We're gonna be on hot ones.
Hot ones.
Hot one's called. They want their sauces back. That's pretty good. All right, y'all. Cool. That was our first look unboxing at the FX9. I had a great time. I hope you guys did too. Go outside and get some test shots. I can't open my garage right now because this whole setup is blocking the garage door. I would I'd love doing these live streams. Maybe we'll do some more like live demos, rigging 101, all that stuff.
Do a walk and talk.
A walk and talk. All that stuff. Yeah, if you have any other recommendations for like live streams and stuff like that, let me know. I love doing live streams. I think they're really fun. I'm gonna probably be doing some latitude tests with this guy as soon as I can. I'd like to do a field review if I can find the time. I'm hoping to get back on the YouTube horse this year, so we'll see how that goes. I'm doing my best. Really quick, what case do you think I should get for this guy? Should I get like a Pelican, like 1510, or like another Cinelux?
I think you can fit it in a 1510.
1510?
Maybe pushing it. Depends on like how you want to send it out. Like, do you want a
Yeah,
case
that's true.
to just keep it in like full time,
Or just like the all-in-one porta braces, just ready to go.
Interesting.
Cool. Well, that's it. Sony, if you're looking to sponsor someone, my inbox is open. I'll be waiting.
You'll be the Vegas rep.
I'll be the, yeah,
Sony rep.
yeah, I'm waiting. So yeah, we got more content coming. Stay locked on the channel. Do all the YouTube stuff. I'm not even gonna say it. Shout out to all my homies that helped me with this stream. Tyler Stefanelli, he's rocking the switcher. We got Mike on one of the cameras, and then obviously Jeremy Lee from Ismahawk. So big thanks to everyone that came out. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you in the next one.
On the next one.